I'm pleased to introduce our second keynote speaker who will be sharing about the Philippine startup ecosystem from a regulator's perspective. Let us welcome Dr. Rafaelita M. Aldaba, Undersecretary, Competitiveness and Innovation Group, Philippine Department of Trade and Industry. Dr. Aldaba, please.
Thank you, Imelda. So good afternoon, everyone. You've just heard about our new investment incentive system. And this time around, I would like to share with you another system. Well, in fact, it's the Philippine startup ecosystem. As we all know, startups have emerged as key drivers of economic recovery. Startups can also act as catalysts for disruptive innovation. So as we enter the post-crisis future, we are focusing on strategic efforts to accelerate the growth of the Philippine tech startup ecosystem and create a more robust, connected, and globalized startup ecosystem. Next, please. Our startup ecosystem, as you can see, is composed of a young, energetic, tech-savvy population, brimming with potential. It is a vibrant community of highly skilled and innovative individuals. The ecosystem has a valuation of $2 billion and is currently composed of over 700 startups, over 35 incubators and accelerators, more than 50 angel investors, more than 200 co-working spaces, and over 40 venture capitalists. According to the Global Startup Ecosystem Report 2022, Manila is in the top 25 Asian ecosystems in terms of funding, top 20 global ecosystem in affordable talent, and top 25 for bank among Asian ecosystems. And amid the pandemic, local fintech startups such as Mint, which is already a double unicorn, PayMongo, SquidPay, NextPay, these are all fintech companies. Great Deals, which is an e-commerce firm, Voyager Innovations, Kumo, and Philippine Digital Exchange Asset increased their volume of transactions and raised funding for expansion. Next, please. As 99.5% of businesses in the Philippines are considered micro, small, and medium enterprises, many of our startups have found substantial opportunities for MSME innovation. In our latest count, 35% of the local startups are those that provide digital services such as IT, marketing, software, human resources, and other business development services, followed closely by fintech and e-commerce. And in terms of funding, being a young ecosystem, majority of local startups are still in the pre-seed and seed level funding stage. Next, please. As the Philippines is a consumption-driven economy with over 110 million population, fintech, e-commerce, and logistics startups are the major strengths of our ecosystem. In fact, in the last 2 years of the pandemic, we've seen significant expansion in these sectors with a rapid shift of economic activities to digital platforms. And the Philippine digital economy is expected to reach $40 billion by 2025, providing opportunities for startups to cater to the growing digital economy. Next, please. DTI initiatives are geared towards helping our companies shift to industry transformation. Our most recent initiative is the Artificial Intelligence Roadmap, which focuses on uplifting the lives of our people, industries, and the economy. To accelerate innovation and digitalization, we are in the process of building a center for AI research. The AI Center is going to be a public-private partnership and would serve as hub for data scientists and researchers to perform collaborative AI R&D, provide consultancy services, create AI tech products, conduct data literacy programs, and attract leading global firms to set up R&D activities in the Philippines. Our areas of focus include precision farming, along with smart manufacturing, healthcare services, AI-powered business process outsourcing, smart cities, and resilient technology. Note as well that the adoption of AI is expected to create revenues amounting to 92 billion US dollars. That's 12% of our GDP by the year 2030. And currently, there are more than 50 startups using AI as their core business model. Next, please. As a young ecosystem, we are facing a lot of challenges, but our vision is clear, and that is to make the Philippine tech startup ecosystem an engine of economic recovery and digital transformation, leading to inclusive growth and job creation. And to realize this, we keep our focus on various key strategies. First is by growing the number of startups in the country through a larger and a more coordinated ecosystem and promotion of tech entrepreneurship. Second, increasing early stage funding by attracting more private angels and angel investors in the Philippines and implementing startup venture fund programs to support early stage financing. Third, building quality startups by strengthening founder know-how, deepening market reach, and increasing talent quality. And lastly, expanding global connectedness by engaging with partners as we connect the Philippine startup ecosystem with other regional and global ecosystems. Next, please. The government has institutionalized laws and policies to build the enabling environment that would allow startups to grow and develop. And this would include the Ease of Doing Business Act, which streamlined government processes, systems, and procedures. The revised corporation code allows the incorporation of one-person corporations, while the Innovative Startup Act and Philippine Innovation Act provide funding to support innovation and the implementation of the Philippine Startup Development Programs. And more importantly, we work closely together with other government agencies in order to harmonize and align our startup policies and programs and ensure that we are able to address the needs of startups at every stage in their development life cycle. Next, please. Here are our programs. The DTI has launched 3 new incubation and acceleration programs addressing specific startup constraints at every phase in their development. The Startup Idea and Advanced programs, as you can see on the slide, are designed to help early stage startups grow towards bringing their products to the market. Meanwhile, the Global Acceleration Program immerses Philippine startups in the global ecosystem to enable them to pursue global business development, fundraising, and other strategic opportunities. Next, please. The DTI and the National Development Company are also going to implement a startup venture fund together with other venture capitalists and co-investment partners. The Startup Venture Fund is the country's government-led startup fund aiming to help startups develop their products, scale up, and expand. Through this fund, the DTI will provide matching investments with co-investors for startups with innovative ideas and high growth potential. Next, please. Our other programs include the iLip, wherein we partner with other government agencies and the private sector in providing opportunities and assistance to startups and startup enablers to allow them to participate in local and international startup events. Leveraging on our network of traditional businesses, we also implement the Smart Link program to connect traditional MSMEs and large enterprises with startups that can provide digital solutions for their operations. Next, please. The Department of Science and Technology, which is another government partner of the DTI in startup development, is also spearheading several programs to help startups overcome research and development roadblocks. It provides grants to startups for their R&D activities through the Startup Grant Program, and it's also implementing a customized, gender-friendly program called Women Helping Women Innovating Social Enterprise Programs. The DOST is also implementing the Technology Business Incubation Program along with the Higher Education Institution Readiness for Innovation and Technopreneurship Program. Both aim to establish and strengthen incubation hubs in higher education institutions all over the country. Next, please. Oh, well, there is another program which aims to further expand and strengthen the startup ecosystems across the different regions in the country. And this is called the Regional Startup Enablers for Ecosystem Development, or our RECEED program. Okay. Now, let me go through the programs of another government partner, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT. And they are currently developing our Startup Central Portal, which would contain information on government processes, grants, and programs for startups. And this is going to be very helpful for prospective startups and startup enablers, whether from the Philippines or abroad, who are interested to know more about our ecosystem. The DICT is also building innovation studios. These are laboratory facilities equipped with advanced hardware and software and co-working spaces. DICT is also leading the Innovation Network initiative to establish networks of innovators across the country. Next, please. So the three agencies, that's DTI, DOST, and DICT, are all working together to build a robust startup ecosystem. We are organizing an annual Philippine Startup Week, which is the country's biggest startup and innovation conference. This is a collaborative initiative by the government and the private sector to celebrate and showcase the Filipino startup community. And we are holding the event on November 14 to 18, 2022, with the theme Homegrown Heroes, Cultivating Tech Giants. And for more information about this event, I'd like to invite you to visit our official Philippine Startup Week Facebook page. Next, please. So to end, the Philippines is home to a great pool of creative talents. Our startup ecosystem is relatively young, but startups have emerged as key drivers of digital transformation and economic recovery, and they are also catalysts for disruptive innovation. The Philippine startup community is open to more collaboration with other startup ecosystems in the region, most especially with Singapore, which has a well-developed ecosystem. Thank you, and we look forward to collaborating with all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aldaba.